All right, let me try and rephrase this a little bit better and put it in a better perspective. You see the shape of this bell? You see the gong right here? You know that swings and it hits both sides, right? You see the shape of this thing? All right, if I'm gonna try and draw and cut this thing out. This is gonna be really difficult to do, but freeform. If you move this thing inside there, now what I'm going to try and do is if we were to, I'm just trying to figure out how in the heck I'm going to, hang on. So if we take this like this, let's do this. Let's try this. Freeform. Put this over the top of this like this. Let's just sit this right here right now. It's kind of like this. I'm trying to match the bottom up with the top so that you'd see it. It would kind of be like that. Hang on, I gotta do a little bit more here. Hang on. We're gonna take this bottom part off here. And just get rid of that. Then we're going to take the eraser and we're going to try and smooth this out a little bit. We don't need any of this. So let's take this and get rid of this. This, give me this here. I'm getting a better understanding, I think, of how this whole thing is working. We'll get rid of this here because we don't need any of that. And then we'll take this here and we'll do freehand. So this comes down here like this, comes down there like that, and this comes down here like this. This comes up here like this. Do you understand? It's a bell, and that thing right there is what this is represented of. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Here's where it really gets interesting. Hang on. This is it's just my theory, but I think I'm on spot on with this. Hang on. So here, this thing sits down inside the earth. It's down there ways. Here's Saturn. The rings of Saturn create a vibration. That's the tone. It goes down. It goes down from Saturn to the moon, and from the moon to the inside of this thing. When Saturn vibrates at a certain frequency, the moon, I'm assuming the moon, is like an amplifier. When I work the cable, and the cable still works this way, when they send the signal down the line, as it gets farther away from the source, there's a thing called a motherboard, just like in a computer. There's a thing called a motherboard. It takes that signal and it re-amplifies it, and it sends it farther down the line. So it's going Saturn, the moon, it amplifies the tone, and then that goes down to this thing down here, to the bell. And in each one of these little things is one of those little guys, or whatever the fuck they are, or however this thing works. This is the connection. So it goes Saturn, the moon, the Earth. And then that reverses itself, depending, because this is scientific fact. When Saturn rings, the Earth vibrates like a bell. That's science. So that's what's happening here. That's exactly what's happening here. And they know it, and then these fucks have been lying to us all of this time. This is the inside of the bell. This is the mini-me to Saturn. This mimics what Saturn does. This is all full of all kinds of things that you would call legion. And where does that go? That shit gets pumped upstairs where we live, above the bell, to a thing called a television and radio. To TV and radio. And so the different frequencies that emanate from Saturn create the different moods that are set within the news system itself. The stories of chaos, control, about wars, the money, especially the money. All of this is emanating from this thing down here. But it's listen to what I say. It's in concert, because it's a sound. It's in concert with whatever's going on with Saturn. And that's why the Vatican has a fucking telescope pointed right at that planet, because they know when Saturn's tone changes, so does everything down here. And through technology, they've taken that and they've changed it into a digital system, and you pick it up on the radio and in TV and news stories. That's the bell. That's the mini-me to Saturn. And that's what runs our money system. That's what runs our entertainment system. That's what runs our defense, our military. It all is based off of the vibrations coming off of that planet. That's the fucking bell. That's why they shot that picture that way. And here's the effing colors to prove it right here. It's all right there. Now, I'm sure I'm not 100% right, but I think I'm fucking in the ballpark anyway. It's the bell. It's the bell. B-E-L-L. And just like the Jews wrote, it's a B. It's a B thing. B-L. The B. These little, each one of these little compartments. It's just like a beehive. But there's little entities in there, or little minds, or whatever the fuck. And when Saturn rings, they wake up, or they do whatever it is that they do in concert with whatever's going on with Saturn. The moon is just the amplifier. That's exactly how this works. Just like your stereo does. The signal comes from the radio station. Your stereo picks it up, takes the frequency, changes it into audio, amplifies it by turning up the volume, just like on Spinal Tap. This one goes to 11, and then you hear it, and then you respond to it in kind by the way that you react to the music. That's what I think is going on. Because the way that they shot this picture right here is far too telling. But you got your zigzag, you got your yellow and your pink, you've got your cube in here, you've got your circle, that's your circle and your square, and you got each one of these little dots. And these little guys inside here are the little guys that are inside each one of these little dots, these little neutrino dots, these collectors or whatever. Those dudes are in there. Those things need us up here. They fucking need us. Because without us, you guys are fucked. That's what all of this is about. See, we play a major part in this because we have to react a certain way to stuff. Because if we don't, things don't work right. And these little guys are the little guys that are inside this. I'm pretty sure it's taken me a long time to get to this point. It's just like that stupid Katy Perry said in her stupid commercial for B96. For B, it's a radio station out here, B96, which means the fallen. She said, radio, it's how we get to you. Yeah, from here.